One of the great mysteries in brain science is how we and other animals interact with the world around us. This interaction requires us to analyse the world through our senses and produce appropriate behaviours. But the pathways from sensation to action are poorly understood.
Recent advances make it possible to measure and perturb brain activity in mice at microscopic and macroscopic levels, from synapses to the whole networks of nerve cells. A great deal of recent work in mouse has focused on the visual system, where it's easy to construct and deconstruct visual stimuli. A major obstacle to progress is that we lack a natural behavior landscape for mice.
Mice are prey animals. When they scavenge for food, they're in constant danger from different predators. When they come across these predators, they use a set of natural behaviors to respond to these threats. For example, when they come across a predator, they might flee, they might freeze, or they might even fight. Maybe not fight.
Previous work has shown that which behaviour mice employ can be influenced by the environment that the mouse is in and the distance to the predator. We wanted to know if these instinctive behaviours could be biased by variation in visual cues alone. If this were the case, it would reveal that mice do use their vision to guide behaviour. It might also provide a simple framework in which we could understand the route from sensation to action.
Imagine you're a mouse. If something is rapidly looming towards you, it is likely to be a predator that is attacking you, and it makes sense to run away to shelter. Running away, however, expends energy and reduces the time you have for gathering food. You probably don't want to run every time there is a potential threat. What if the predator is not yet attacking, for example? Freezing may help evade its attention or help you wait until the predator has committed to an approach path from which you can escape.
We therefore designed an experiment where we could compare the responses to different types of threat. For example, an imminent threat, like a bird approaching an animal, or a potential threat, like a bird gliding through the air. Do mice respond differently to these different stimuli?
In this, we were inspired by a recent paper from Melis Yilmaz and Marcus Meisser in 2013. They showed that an expanding black disc emulating an attacking bird presented overhead caused mice to rapidly run to refuge. We first replicated their experiments. We built a box, we topped it with a computer monitor, we placed a refuge in one corner, and we used a camera to visualize the mouse while they were in the environment. We could present visual stimuli on the computer monitor.
This video shows how mice respond to an expanding black disc. On the top, you have the image of the computer monitor, what the mouse sees from below. On the bottom, you have the image of the arena with the mouse in it. When the mouse approaches the center of the arena, we engage a visual stimulus. As you can see, the mouse rapidly runs to refuge.
What happens instead if the visual stimulus emulates a gliding predator? To test this, we presented a stimulus which was a small black disc of constant size that swept across the monitor.
We saw freezing behaviour in nearly all trials, about 85% of trials. Now, in some of those trials, mice subsequently ran back to home. In some trials, they resumed normal foraging behaviour. This suggests that the mice are engaged in constant evaluation of this potential overhead threat. We measured responses for a range of speeds, and we saw freezing responses at all the speeds we tested. We were interested to know if priming the mice with this potential threat would change the way that they responded to an imminent threat, that is, the expanding black disc.
We therefore presented the sweeping stimulus and the loom stimulus in succession. We found that loom-induced flight was just as likely whether the loom was or was not preceded by a sweep stimulus. In addition to providing a nice demonstration of how these simple behaviors can be chained to one another, these data support the idea that the sweep and the loom stimuli are analyzed by separate circuits.
To summarize, we have shown that mice naturally, unconditionally, use vision to assess the potential threat of an overhead object. These unconditioned responses provide a natural framework in which to explore both vision and behavioral choice.
We're really excited by the findings of this study because it shows in a very simple experiment that mice can use their vision instinctively to make a choice of what behavior they're going to pursue.
Finally, we think that many aspects of these prey behaviors are conserved in humans. We hope that understanding the brain pathways that provide them in mice will help us understand how humans instinctively make the choice to flee, freeze, or fight.